What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Brendan Olson for the $20 donation via the Cash App. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. I just want to say this. I looked at the comment section of the video I did about Trump and how I think their strategy could potentially be a losing one. And it's ironic how a lot of people tell me that I'm being emotional in the video, but then in your replies to me, you write, and I'm not talking about most people, just a few. You write the most emotionally damaging things you can think of to attack me for that, because you didn't like that I didn't say what you wanted me to say. Questioning my intelligence, telling me to go back to Haiti. That right there is what I'm talking about. That right there. Can't even have an intelligent discussion about politics. I understand politics is a very touchy subject, sensitive subject, but the emotional intelligence of people is at all-time low. It is what it is, man. That's what happens when you talk politics. You got people on here that I've been cool with for years, and because they don't like my politics, they unsubscribe or talk about me behind my back or talk about me subliminally in videos. It is what it is. But let's move on to sports, man. Look, we all know that LeBron with the Lakers, the league has been absolutely doing. They don't even try to hide it anymore. In the Adam Silver era, they don't even try to hide the agenda. They always shoot 1,000 more free throws than every other team. They have all of these unclutched writers on the payroll try to explain to you why the Lakers should lead the league in free throws by such a huge amount. Meanwhile, paint-pounding teams like the Knicks and other teams like the Raptors, who have players that constantly drive the basket. They don't shoot as many free throws as this team. This team, whatever, man. So we know, because LeBron isn't good enough to take a team to the promised land, they got to do all these different things just to get them into play-in, because it's about the ratings. But this has been going on forever. The legenda has been going on since he was in Miami. Okay? Remember when he first joined in 2010, not one, not two, not three, the hubris, the arrogance that he showed, thinking it was going to be easy all of a sudden. But they failed. Remember when it was on the even playing field going against Dallas? When I say even, I mean as far as calls and officiating. It was an even playing field, even though they had a loaded team. But LeBron choked in that finals. Biggest choke job ever by a so-called superstar. But then afterwards, they started rigging these games. 2012, look, I'm not saying the Thunder should have won that series, but man, Durant was not getting calls in that series that he should have got called. LeBron was fouling players and wasn't being called. You give him my drift. But then 2013 happens, and this is what I want to focus on. Now, mind you, this was the best Miami Heat team. They went 66-16 that year. They had a 27-game win streak, second longest in the history of the NBA, behind the 72 Lakers' 33-game win streak. That streak, incidentally, was ended. The Heat 27-game streak was ended by my Bulls. Remember that. I called it in the video. Said it was going to happen. But anyway, you may recall, before they faced the Spurs in the finals. In the conference finals, they played the Pacers, who really didn't present a challenge to Miami. Not at all, okay? But what if I told you that semifinal series that the Pacers had against the Knicks was rigged? It was rigged, absolutely. Rigged. Now, the Pacers won that series 4-2, but the last 2 games, the league went into their bag and did their tried and true method in how they rig these games. And that is, you guessed it, free throw attempts. Free throw attempts. Game 6, the Pacers outshot the Knicks at the line. Game 5, if I said Game 6. Game 5, the Pacers outshot the Knicks at the free throw line, 33-17, a plus 16 margin. Okay? A plus 16 margin. The kicker is Game 6. The kicker is Game 6. The Pacers outshot the Knicks from the line in that series. In that game. 46-18. 46-18. 46-18. Now you may ask, well, why were they plotting against the Knicks? Why didn't they want Miami to face the Knicks? Well, this was that Knicks team that I think went 54-28 that year, right? They were the 2nd seed. But during that season, during the regular season, the Knicks went 3-1 against Miami. 3-1. As a matter of fact, one of those victories, Carmelo didn't even play. And the Miami Heat still lost. 2 of the 3 victories were by double digits. One of them a 20-point victory against the defending NBA champion at the time, Miami Heat. And why were Miami shaking their boots every time they played the Knicks? Well, part of it was their 3-point shooting. Their 3-point shooting was absolutely lethal against Miami. They shot 43.4% from downtown. 43.4% from downtown in those 4 games versus the Heat. In 4 games, they connected on 59 3-pointers. 59. As a matter of fact, in the 3 wins, they shot an unbelievable 47.7% from downtown. And I'm not talking about like back in the 80s when, it might have been 4 of 8. No, these guys were bombing from downtown. Now, not at the rate they do today, but at a high rate for that era, about 17, 18 a game. That was a lot back then. So they were killing them. Another reason why they were rigging these games is because Carmelo Anthony couldn't be stopped by Miami. He couldn't be stopped by Miami. He averaged an unbelievable 37.3 points per game against the Miami Heat defense that year. 37.3 points per game, including, get this, a 50-point game against the so-called vaulted Miami defense. And this plays into an argument I've made before. One of the reasons why I think Larry Bird was a better player than LeBron James is because Larry Bird, had to go up against the greatest competition ever at the small forward position in his career. Ever. No all-star or legendary small forward. You could argue almost any position had to go up against so much vaunted position of talent at that position. In the 1980s, Larry Bird had to go up against Julius Erving. He had to go up against Dominique Wilkins. He had to go up against James Worthy, Alex English, Adrian Dantley. Sometimes George Gervin played that position. Chris Mullin, Scottie Pippen, Bernard King, Mark Aguirre, Larry Nance, Kiki Vandeweghe, Bobby Jones, Jamal Wilkes, Deadlift Shrimp, Marquise Johnson, Kelly Tripucka, Chuck Person. Sometimes Walter Davis played small forward. Robert Reed, Rodney McCray, Paul Pressey, Calvin Natt, Greg Ballard. LeBron really just had who? Didn't really go up against Carmelo much. See that? They were afraid to have him match up against the real true 2004 Rookie of the Year. Paul George, that's it. Paul George. And Paul Pierce, who was in the twilight of his career and owned him in his prime. Multiple 40-point games against LeBron, Paul Pierce had. Multiple 40-point games against LeBron, Paul George had back then. We seen how Kawhi cooked them individually. Jordan wasn't having guys going against him, cooking him like that, not on a consistent basis. But LeBron supposed to be an all-time defender. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, it's been going on for quite some time, man. On a super team. And you still need a league to help you because most fraudulent career of all time. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it.